the dramatization of emotions. I mean, I read the book and I was at one point in tears because it's heavy emotions. And I wonder how you manage this part of dramatization of emotions, because not to make the little readers weep, but at the same time to give an idea about life in the reality in life, how it could, how sadness is also an emotion that people often feels. So how do you balance this between uh, dramatizing to an effect where people find it very interesting, at the same time not to make it too much of an emotional backlash for kids?
Yes. In trying to answer that, I would say because of the original intention I had of presenting it as a gift and as a gift with a message, I was careful how I portray the emotions. But then again, I wanted to portray a picture that is realistic as well, because kids are there, we don't think much of it at times, but children are really smart, and they're smarter than we think. They are smarter than we give them credit for. They pick on things far more easily, far more quicker than us sometimes. So I thought, instead of painting a perfect picture, to portray some things or some issues, troubles that you may have to go through life, would serve a better purpose. Also, if I may take more time on this question, I told you I wanted to embed some messages in the story for the reader. And now, since it's a public endeavor, and I told you I revised it and edited it for years. So at that time, I knew it's not going to be a single copy for my daughter. It's going to be out there. So then I thought of the bigger picture as well. So in that sense, I think I lost the question now.
It's about the emotion.
Yeah. Okay. In that sense, I thought of widening my message at a certain stage. For instance, like it has a psychological aspect to it, as I see it. Now, let's say we as parents, we love our children. We want what's best for them. But we cannot assure that we will be there with them always. So you may live long, but then there will be occasions where our kids have to go through life without us. There will be occasions like, for example, very practical occasions. They go to preschool, they'll have to go to school. So in those places, you're not always there. I'm not saying that parents need to be doing helicopter parenting, always hovering around there. But what I'm saying is, sometimes parents and elders or teachers even don't realize that there is a gap between the elders, the adults, and the kids. Although you think you know all about your kids may be going through stuff that you are not aware of. Because if you look back to your childhood, I'm sure you can come up with examples where you felt alone, where you felt hard done by, where you felt embarrassed, afraid. Not that your parents didn't love you, not that you had a nice family, not that you didn't go to a good school, but there are instances where each one of us as individuals go through very isolated spaces, go through very critical stages. And for a child, because they are at a tender, impressionable age, it is quite powerfully felt. So one thing I try to do through my gift of a book is to provide them sort of a guide, an emotional guide if they need, a roadmap, you can call it, if they get lost in their troubles. It might be little troubles to us, but they are huge troubles to them. So a roadmap, and then also, let's say if they go through something and they lose their footing, and when they fall, there should be a safety net to catch them. So I felt like this book would do that, fill that gap, and like catch the child when he or she falls emotionally. I don't know whether you get it. Yeah. See, okay, that's great. So what I'm trying to say is, if a little reader reads the book and gets the message, gets the sense that these things happen in life, like you can't always win. There's gonna be failure at some point of time, and you're gonna feel bad. You're gonna end up alone. But that's not the end of the world, because if you don't have any real life incidents to refer to, you might remember Rickety. There was this nice story that I read that I enjoyed so much. Think of what happened to Rickety, but think of how Rickety bounced back. So this is my safety net that I'm providing to the readers, the buffer that they can use to absorb a shock that may come across. So all these psychological aspects are also there. And I would like to add to that, to say that it's not just in my mind, because there are a few fans that have gathered around me. And just last week, one of the parents told me that her child is not yet able to read it. She has to read it, but he wants it to be read every day as a bedtime story. So there is something that grabs his attention there. There's something soothing for him there. And also a different friend of mine came along and said one day, you know, this happened. We were having a little discussion, and then we gave some remarks to our daughter about the school marks that she had got. Last time she had got good marks, this time not so good. Why is that, sort of? And she was saying, do you know what she did? She went ahead, got Rickety Rocks, brought it to the room, and turned to the certain page and showed them, see what happened to Rickety, see what Rickety did. So maybe I can do it next time. So what I'm trying to say is that the messages have gone through. So it is acting as the safety network, as the comfort the children needs in their hour of need.
That's remarkable, especially given the time that we live in. Kids face a lot of bullying, and sometimes they take time to get adjusted to new environments, to find their place. And with this busy world, parents are always not able to help them, and to empower them with a very powerful psychological message that can always that they can remember until they are grown ups. Even at the time they are grown-ups, I think there's a very powerful message in Rickety Rocks. It's remarkable. I mean, when I read that as a parent, the same thing I thought, that if any kid reads it, they will always remember there's always a way to come back and win their world. So it's a great thing.